Okay, I've been very stubborn, and I've still spent some time at lunch today working on this TX4B. And it's stranger than ever. So I thought this was done. I found a major problem in it with the variable capacitor shorting out. And I fixed that problem. I thought, okay, well, this thing is, there's the cap again. You can see the little variable capacitor. I was able to tune the finals and balance them. So that worked out well. But this thing was still kind of flaky. I would tune it up, it would quit. Then it would come back, and I thought there's still something wrong. So anyway, I saw some weird connections. The whole problem with these is they're all hand built, and it depends on the skill of the person building it. It depends on what mood they were in. It depends if they had a good day or not. I mean, this is just all hand done. So what I found was on the sideband filter here, there's a middle wire that I'm not sure if it's a ground wire or they use a braid to do something, but if you look at this middle wire here, that's a coax ground right there. That right there is a coax ground of this piece of coax here. And that was touching the middle case. I'm not sure if they wanted it that way or not, but I unsoldered that and took it off the middle case. I checked out this other piece of coax here, and it seemed shorted, but I think that's just the nature of the impedance it's working with. So I unsoldered that little part right there, and I found that looked shorted, but I think that's how the impedance in the coax is, because I saw that we had some coax in this thing before that it was shorted right here from the people overheating it. The builders overheated it. So anyway, and then I had it working for a moment. This thing was working, and so I just touched the mixer tube here. The second mixer just gave it a little twink, and the thing went off. And I thought, well, that's the problem right there. So I replaced the tube, and with another one that I don't know if it was good or not, but it still didn't work. So I thought, okay, now we're gonna do the nuclear option and just start soldering everything underneath the receiver or the transmitter around that tube. And so that in itself is a real nightmare. So the mixer is probably the most complicated circuit in this thing, and they have a coil on top of it. Let's find the mixer here with the light. Okay, the mixer coil is where? I always have trouble getting this phone to focus and figure out. Okay, there it is. So I pretty much went through all the connections on this mixer tube, the 6AU8 or 6AU6, went through all the connections of it, resoldered everything in here. Anything that had solder got resoldered, and I would also bend capacitors around, bend resistors around, make sure wires aren't touching and shorted. This one wire has a bite out of it, and so got into the tube in there and was able to resolder all that stuff, and now it seems to be working. So in many cases with these old drakes, they're hand wired and you just don't know what's wrong. Cold side joints, wires touching, wires that have been really close for years are touching because somebody was in here fixing something else. You just don't know. And I found sometimes you just want to go through here, check every connection to make sure it's not broken, or it's not half soldered, or it's not touching something else or very near, and you might get lucky. So there's really not much skill in these old radios as far as debugging them. It's mostly like just good eyes and looking for trouble. So maybe this thing's fixed now, but it just takes a lot of time, and I can see why we got lucky that we moved on to ICs, and now we have robots building these things, and the quality is a lot higher. With PCB boards and surface mount technology, we don't have all this trouble, but oh well, half the fun of it is the breadboard stuff. It just takes a long time to fix this stuff. So anyway, we'll see if this thing is done finally, and I can put the covers on it and forget about it and maybe use it someday. Okay, well, that's about it for the Drake. T4XB, these are difficult to fix. You might spend hours or days. It's something that I didn't want to let this go. I wanted to make sure this thing would work because I'd already put a lot of time into it, and I don't know. Life is only so long. Should I be doing this? Maybe not, but this is what I did. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.